Witherhoard is one of the very best exotic weapons in the game, with a combination of damage over time and big DPS, making it really valuable in raids and other endgame PvE content like Legend and Master Lost Sectors, plus Nightfalls 2. Well, today I'm going to have a look at the Witherhoard, why it's one of the best in the game, plus how to get all the materials you need to buy this exotic weapon, and how to get Witherhoard in Beyond Light. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Well, Witherhoard is an exotic kinetic grenade launcher originally introduced in Season of Arrivals, and its perks make it pretty devastating, and they include the following. So we've got Primeval's Torment, projectiles fired by the weapon blight the target or nearby area on impact. We've also got Break the Bank, so blighted targets take damage over time and blight the nearby area on death. So looking at the stats, we've got 60 for impact, 67 for stability, 53 for handling, 40 for reload speed, 21 for velocity. It's a 90 rounds per minute grenade launcher with one in the magazine. Well, Witherhoard is an exotic grenade launcher in the kinetic slot, and it uses special ammo. So this is one of the only exotic grenade launchers in the kinetic slot, so by that measure it's pretty unique. The design is also really cool, and I think it's supposed to be a gift from the darkness, as per Season of Arrivals, when the pyramids first landed on the outskirts of the solar system. So when it was first introduced to the game, Witherhoard absolutely destroyed raid bosses due to the damage over time and the various buffs that were working with each other. Well, Bungie has since tweaked the Witherhoard, but it's still very potent and useful to take into a raid. For example, if you can find a spawn point for enemies, it's great to throw down a few Witherhoard shots, and then when the enemies walk into the Witherhoard pools, they get that damage over time effect. Plus, you can use this with Breach and Clear, one of the great mods introduced as part of Season of the Splicer, meaning you can weaken even the toughest boss or roaming mini-boss. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get the Witherhoard after the Beyond Light update. So to get Witherhoard, you can buy this from the exotic kiosk found in the tower, and you can find that next to your vault, and it's called the Monument to Lost Lights. So Witherhoard is going to cost you 1 exotic cipher, 100,000 glimmer, 150 glacial starworts, and 1 ascendant shard. So you can get an exotic cipher from the season pass, or you can complete the quest from Xur. He's around from Friday until reset on Tuesday, and I do a guide for Xur's location each week, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notifications bell to never miss an update. Well, Glimmer can be acquired from pretty much any activity, so strikes, Gambit, Crucible, public events, patrols, and everything in between. So you can also go to Spider and trade in materials for Glimmer, but don't trade in your Glacial Starworts, as you're going to need those to get Witherhoard. For the Ascendant Shard, you can purchase them from Banshee 44 in the tower, or you can get them from high-level Nightfalls as random drops from the final chest. Well, finally, there's the Glacial Starwort, so this is a little bit more in-depth. So next up, we're going to talk about how to farm Glacial Starworts. Well, Glacial Starworts are the planetary material found on Europa, and there's a couple of ways to get them. So before you head down to Europa, you are going to want to prepare, particularly with your ghost shells. So there's a mod called Wombo Detector, which helps you detect caches and resources within a 50-meter range. So put this on your ghost, as it's really going to come in use. Once you've done this, head down to Europa, and there are a few farming methods we're going to combine here. So first of all, pick up all the bounties from Varix, and he's near the Charon's Crossing landing zone in that little building there, and his bounties are going to reward you with a bunch of Glacial Starworts. Well, next up, you want to find the caches hidden on Europa, and you'll be able to see these on your map, and they'll reward you with Glacial Starworts too. So finally, you can find individual Glacial Starworts on the ground, also in Lost Sectors as well. So if you get your ghost out, your Wombo Detector Ghost mod is going to help you find them nice and fast. Well, it is also worth checking out Spider on the Tangled Shore, as he may be selling or trading Glacial Starworts. So his inventory rotates daily, but do be careful with Spider though. I would wait until the 5 Glacial Starworts to be sold for 1 legendary shard, rather than 5,000 glimmer. Unless you're desperate, or you've got loads of glimmer, as Spider will fleece you for everything that you've got. Well, once you've got all the materials, head back to the Monuments to Lost Light in the tower and purchase the Witherhoard. And congratulations, you now got one of the best exotic grenade launchers in the game. Well, Witherhoard is really powerful, plus it's been disabled a few times due to its power, including just after Beyond Light released. So one of the first things Bungie had to do post-release of Beyond Light was disable that weapon, but they did bring it back nice and quickly. Now, it's great in PvE, for example, if you get direct shots onto a target, their DPS is very high, or you can pepper the ground around the enemies and they'll walk through those pools, picking up that damage over time. And it's also useful in PvP too, but it is very annoying if you come up against a 6-stack team or using Witherhoard, so do what you will with that information. Well, next up, let's talk a little bit about the Witherhoard Catalyst. So regarding the Catalyst, there are a couple of benefits. So it drops orbs or multi-kills, which is really, really useful. It tracks kills, but also you've got the Silent Alarm perk. So with the Silent Alarm perk, you're going to get increased handling, allowing the weapon to be drawn faster and shooting it sooner than your opponents. Also, when you holster the weapon, you'll get an automatic reload. So this is great because you can swap weapons, you can fire and then swap back, and you'll find that Witherhoard has been reloaded, which is really, really useful indeed. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get the Witherhoard Catalyst. So to get the Catalyst, you simply need to buy the weapon from the Monuments to Lost Lights, and then Banshee44 is going to offer you a quest called the Bank Job, and there's 4 parts to complete. So you've got one last job, high stakes heist, crime spree, and then clean getaway. So first up, we've got one last job, so go and have a chat with Banshee44 in the tower, and you'll need Witherhoard to get this, so make sure it's in your inventory before you go and speak to him, otherwise he's not going to give you that quest. And after speaking to Banshee44 for a bit, you'll get the next part of the quest, and that is high stakes heist. So for the second part of the quest, to get the Witherhoard Catalyst, players are going to need to acquire 50 Vault Keys. So Vault Keys have a chance to drop from enemies that are killed with either a kinetic or special grenade launcher, so head into an activity that's full of enemies, and you should pick these up in no time at all. So Altars of Sorrow or Blind Well, that'd be a good option, or you could just run Strikes or Gambit. Next up, we've got Crime Spree, so this one is a little bit of a grind. So for Crime Spree, players are going to need to do 3 things. So you need 100 Guardian kills with a grenade launcher, 200 multi-kills with a grenade launcher, and obtain 300 Filthy Lucre. So the Guardian kills can either be in Crucible or Gambit, it doesn't really matter which, but there are more Guardians in Crucible, so I would go there. And then the multi-kills can be against PvE enemies, and that can be done anywhere. So pick an activity that you feel comfortable in, get out your Witherhoard, and then you can complete that step of the quest. The Filthy Lucre can be acquired from Strikes, Nightfalls, Gambit and Crucible, but I would say Strikes and Nightfalls are probably the best option for PvE players. So once you've ticked off all those boxes, you've got the final step, that is Clean Getaway. So once you've finished, have a chat to Banshee44 in the tower. He's going to hand over that Witherhoard Catalyst, and that one is going to finish the Bank Job questline. So good luck going out there and getting the materials for Witherhoard. It really is one of the best weapons in the game, so I would prioritise on going out and getting it as soon as you possibly can, because you are going to be an MVP of the raid team if you've got Witherhoard in your inventory. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think of Witherhoard, and also let me know what your top Witherhoard loadouts are down there in the comments. Well, that is it for this guide for how to get Witherhoard after the Beyond Light update. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. See you soon.